What's up, everyone? It's your favorite marketer and podcast host. My name is Prit. I am the author of Zero to Four Figures, a podcaster, YouTuber, Etsy shop owner, and a Skillshare teacher. All the links are in the description box below if you'd like to check it out. On this podcast, I bring in experts to give you actionable steps on various marketing, business, and mindset strategies to help you grow the business you love. Today, I have one such expert with me, Mark Newsome. Now, Mark Newsome, aka Mr. Marketing, specializes in helping small to mid-sized business owners and service providers uncover and monetize what was once previously considered dead assets or resources. Plus, they discover how to strategically increase their long-term gross front and back-end profits for literally pennies on the dollar. Mark, how are we doing today?
Excellent. And thank you so much for allowing me to be one of your guests. This is awesome.
Yeah, super excited to have a fellow marketer on this podcast. I know we're going to have so much fun talking about marketing. So Mark, can you tell us a little bit about how did you get started in the marketing space? What has your journey been like?
Well, the very short condensed version, Prit, is I started out in a niche area of financing and real estate known as privately held notes, but we call it in the industry paper, which is a fancy way of just saying debt. And the short of it is the industry was really archaic in terms of marketing, promoting strategies. And when I learned about some of the legends like Jay Abraham, Dan Kennedy, the late great copywriter and marketing genius, Gary Halbert, and some of these other people, a whole world opened up to me. So the short of it is I started writing articles initially in some of the big time newsletters that were out at the time for the industry. And a good friend of mine, Bill, pointed out to me one day, he said, Mark, I know you think this multi-billion-dollar a year paper thing is the bomb. He said, but I'm telling you, man, small business owners and service providers could really use the information you're sharing, like how to write what's in it for me headlines, add PSs and risk averse, you know, all the stuff we do and talk about as marketers that the small business industry, for the most part, has no idea even exists, you know, upsells and all this stuff. So the short of it is, I sort of gradually morphed into helping them. And since my first name was Mark, I just decided to run with the marketer, moniker, Mr. Marketing. And there are several guys out there that have the same moniker, but that's the short, super condensed version of how I got right here and ended up on your awesome podcast.
Oh, that's amazing. Mark, how long have you been a marketer?
Oh my goodness. Let's say officially 25 plus years, unofficially 30 years. You know what I mean? Because I've been fascinated by this industry. There's just, as you know, it's just so many facets to it that it's just mind-boggling. You can specialize in so many things. And then with the internet now, and email, social media, it's just so many ways, like I said, to skin the cat. That's probably an old term. The millennials won't understand that, but it's a lot of openings, It really is.
So as a marketer, I definitely want to ask you this question. In the 25 years of, being a marketer, what was the biggest cultural shock that marketing has given you?
This is really going to date me, but I did not see the potential of the internet, believe it or not. I know that probably for you, you're thinking, well, when it first came out, I just thought, this internet thing, not realizing this thing's going to change the game. And it has changed the game in so many ways. I mean, the internet alone, then you got social media. And as you know, social media change. By the time we're off this podcast, there'll be changes in social media. So I just couldn't wrap my head around it, but it's probably the most powerful marketing tool, promotional tool that's been ever invented so far, as I'm concerned.
Oh, that's amazing. So that was a bit of a cultural shock for you. And I think as marketers, I think one of the important criteria for our job is that we have to learn as we go. There's everything constantly evolving. How do you keep up with that?
Well, that's an excellent question. What I'm learning, Prit, is I've got to slice and dice and try to stay relevant to what I think is going to help me help my ideal customer base, and the rest I just leave alone for the most part.
That's actually good. So you basically focus on what is necessary for your business and your clients, and then everything else at the moment, it piques your interest, but it's probably just a side. I think that's really good advice. And, one of the reasons why I asked that question is because today's day and age, we have solopreneurs and we also have very small business owners who do the marketing themselves. And there are just so many different platforms out there. There's so many different marketing strategies for them to implement. And I know for a fact that they do feel overwhelmed. What is your biggest advice when it comes to business owners or solopreneurs who are doing their own marketing and they feel overwhelmed? Where should they start? What should they do?
That's an excellent question. Here's the first thing, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad you asked. Here's some advice. I'm going to give you sort of the 30,000 foot view, and then I'm going to bring it home. Stop treating your business or service like a one-night stand. And you say, well, what the heck does that mean, Mark? You're going from first-time customer, leaping to first-time customer, leaping to first-time customer. Now, some of you are thinking, well, that's how you run a business. If you want to continue to struggle and starve, yeah, you can do it that way. Let me give you an idea of what I'm talking about. Let's suppose, I know for millennials, what I'm about to say is like really old school, but let's suppose it's the holiday time and you're shopping in a mall physically, not, you're not doing it via your phone. You're actually physically in the mall. You're standing in line. There's a ton of people in line ahead of you. And you got the overwhelming urge to go to the bathroom. So you tap the person in front of you, say, excuse me, I'm just going to step out of line and go to the bathroom. Would you please hold my place? And you say the same thing to the person directly behind you. And they're like, yeah, sure, no problem. You go to the bathroom, you come back, 20 more people have stepped in line. But instead of you going back to the place you were, you go all the way to the end of the line. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what you're doing when you get a customer and jump to the next customer. What you got to do is drill down that customer. Because remember, it takes you typically, right, Prit, about 500% more in retail costs to generate that first-time customer. This is outrageously expensive, and this is why small business owners and service providers constantly struggle. You can actually get more customers, do more business, but your revenues may not increase. This is one of the reasons why. You say, well, what's the alternative, Mark? Let's suppose Prit, let's use the physical first. She purchases something from you. Instead of just letting her walk away, you automatically do what we call the McDonald's technique. What's that, Mark? You ever go into a fast food restaurant and as soon as you buy the strawberry shake and the quarter pounder with cheese, the cashier, all of 17 to 25 years old, probably never ran their own business or service in their life, they say, would you like fries or a Coke or apple pie with that? That's called an upsell. For the same money they got you or effort, they got you into the restaurant, now they're generating additional profit without having to go back on outrageously expensive primetime local radio, primetime television, newspaper, or probably in Prit's case, her customers, PPC ads. Because remember, before you zero in that PPC, pay-per-click, if I'm not being clear, or the Google ad, you're gonna have to test. And here's another, before I forget, here's something else about social media, ladies and gentlemen. Prit will tell you, and I know she's probably already told you, but I would be criminal if I did not reinforce this. Ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to social media, you and I, Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook, Reid Hoffman of LinkedIn, they are the landlords. You and I are the glorified tenants. You could wake up tomorrow if all you're doing is rocking social media. You got your 575,000 Instagram followers. And just like that, for whatever reason, your account gets shut down. Prit, I know you've been on these webinars, paid and free, and I've been on them, and the guru or the guru will reveal they had their Facebook account shut down. Sometimes it's again. Ladies and gentlemen, what good does it do you to do all that work to build up this following on Twitter and LinkedIn and TikTok, and your account or accounts get shut down or temporarily shut down? You say, well, Mark, what's the alternative? You should be building at all times your own opt-in email subscriber base. This way, if LinkedIn decides to shut you down for whatever reason, you still have a way to contact you. I call it your tribe, but your subscribers. But to get back to this upsell concept, McDonald's has taken the upsell to a whole nother level. You say, what do you mean, Mark? Remember, they're all over the world. Every day, people come, some physically into the restaurant, some through the drive-thru. And when they say, would you like fries with that? Ladies and gentlemen, they don't discount the price of fries. Like when Prit and I do an upsell, like, do you want this additional product? We offer you an incentive, a discount to, spend a little more money. McDonald's doesn't discount. And here's the other thing they do. They got their best guru and guruettes in the room and said, how can we take this to the next level? And these men and women, some of who graduated from Harvard, that's my little dig on Harvard, but they come up with this. They ask you a simple question on top of, would you like fries with that? They say, supersize you. And another 10 to 40% who just said yes to the French fries also say yes to the supersize. This is why some of the executives who own these McDonald's, these franchises, their kids go to the best university in the world. They drive some of the best cars, plural, in the world, and they have some of the best looking homes, plural, in the world, because of that one simple strategy, upselling. And before you say, but I don't sell hamburgers, that's not the point. Do you do mail order? If you do mail order, simple example. Let's say Print has a best-selling book, which I'm sure she's going to have one of those pretty soon. When she physically mails the book out, because she's got a digital version too, when she physically mails that book out, what she's going to do is reach out to somebody like me who has a relevant, non-directly competing product, and she sticks that flyer in there and she puts a 10-day window on it, where if you want it, you get it now, you get it for a price less. You go over 10 days, you pay the retail price. The point is, that offer, I split with her after we pay for costs. And I could tell her, pretty soon as you send me 10x number of customers, you go from 25% to 80%. Now, which offer do you think she wants to promote now? Probably mine. And if she gets 2 or 3 of those, ladies and gentlemen, kaboom. She's making more money for the same effort. This is what your small business should be doing. And one other thing, Prit, I didn't need to go on, but this is critical. If you're not sure what to offer to your email list, do the old standby, ladies and gentlemen. What's that, Mark? A free drawing. Give away something free that's sexy enough that your audience says, yes, I would pay for that. So they'd love to get it for free. Now, what do? You have one grand prize winner a month, a quarter, however long the free drawing works. Everybody else is a follow-up. What do you do with them? Do you blow them off? No. You send them an extremely time-sensitive, what we call bounce back offer for them to not only come to your store, showroom, or website, but in the physical world, simply for dragging a friend who's at least 18, who's not a current subscriber. You give them X, you give the recipient X off, and you give the friend they drug a little less than X and a little less that they can spend. So to give you some numbers, the recipient, let's say it's your retail appliance center. You say you get 10% off. You come by yourself up to $200. Not very exciting. It's not supposed to be. However, simply for dragging a friend who's at least 18 before this 10-day window, and ladies and gentlemen, not 10 business days, 10 physical days on the calendar, so that if New Year's, Thanksgiving, Christmas, whatever the major holidays are in your part of the world, even if that 10th day is that, you still put it down. That's called scarcity, because you want to compel them, ethically bribe them, I like to say, Britt, to take action. So they get 40% off up to $1,500 for dragging this friend, and the friend gets $1,000 up to $1,000. They say 30%. If the friend doesn't want to join the list, 10% off up to $100. Just like McDonald's doesn't get everybody with, would you like fries with that? You're not going to get everybody, but you're going to get a whole lot more. You're power list building, and you're selling more product, and you're selling more product and creating a higher net gross profit on the front end, back end. Plus, these men and women are going to jump on social media, start bragging like crazy, take selfies, show pictures, on and on and on. Instead of you doing what your major competitors are doing, outrageously expensive advertising, outrageously expensive hit and miss PPC campaigns, and all that money is coming out of your pocket. And in fact, Brett, let me share this with your audience, and I hate saying this, but we both know it's the truth. Ladies and gentlemen, the time you're investing in this podcast in your local area, men and women who work incredibly hard in their businesses instead of on it, like what Britt and I are trying to show you how to do, they're running ads in your local community. And you and I are here. You didn't see it, but that money is coming out of your bottom line just the same. Wasted circulation. So I kind of went roundabout, Britt, but that's what I suggest small business and service providers do.
I think you brought up a lot of interesting points, Mark, and I will definitely reiterate those as well. The first thing that Mark touched upon was the concept of retaining your existing customers, focusing in on that, whether that is repeat customers or whether it is upselling, and guys, even downselling as well. And, absolutely, because, a lot of times I have heard personally people say, well, Prit, I only have one product. And as Mark rightfully said, there are other things that you can offer. Maybe you want to add on a customer service for an additional fee, specialized, personalized customer service. There are different ways that you can go about it. Maybe you want to do in the buy one, get one free that Mark just talked about, bring in a friend and then maybe you get something for free or you get it at a very steep discounted price. So I think there were tons of strategies that Mark did talk about, and I hope you guys have written them down because those are really, really good. What Mark is trying to say is your CAC, that is your customer acquisition cost, okay? It's going to be very, very high if you don't focus on retaining your existing customers, if you don't put that marketing budget into really good use and retain the existing customers that you have. And Mark, I really like the example that you gave about telling people that, hey, I'm gonna go quickly to the bathroom, come back, and then you go back to the line. I mean, that's absolutely really ridiculous. Rather, if you were to go back in the line, you can actually, one, reduce your costs, put your marketing budget to its absolute maximum potential. And number three, not just that, you actually let your customers know that you care about them. If you are actually taking the time to say, hey, I want you to come back to my business, I want you to buy the next product from my business, you're letting them know that you care and not just, you're going to disappear after they buy one product. So I think what Mark is trying to say is when you focus on your repeat customers, when you focus and you give them the attention, it actually helps build trust. It also reduces your cost as well. So Mark, did I get that right?
Oh, you nailed it. And you added some excellent points. Let me just piggyback off something you said. This is very powerful. Ladies and gentlemen, think about this. Apple gets ready to announce the new thingy. A day before, people are lined up around the block waiting to get into the store. What do you think would happen if Prit has this single location, non-franchise gourmet coffee shop? She drives her truck over there at 4 in the morning where people are already lined up. And she gives all the people standing there a free, get this now, a gourmet cup of coffee. She has this big cup, plastic cup. It's called a Big Go. That's what she calls it. And it normally retails for $8.99, but she's thinking long term. Here's what she does. Everybody that's a gourmet coffee drinker, she gives them a free complimentary, or her employees give them a free complimentary cup of coffee. But here's the marketing tip. She lets them know from now on, when you bring the cup back to my store 2 blocks over, you don't pay $8.99. You pay $2.99. What? How often do you think a percentage of those people are going to come to her store now? If they went from every other week to 3 times a week times 52 weeks a year, now you say, yeah, but Mark, at $2.99, she's basically paying for the cup and she's paying for the gourmet coffee. But here's the thing. Do you think every one of those customers are only going to come in and buy an inexpensive cup of coffee? No way. Plus, she lets them know in a sign in the store on her 2 slowest days historically. I'm just making this up, ladies. Tuesday and Thursday, you come in and you get the baker's dozen of anything you buy. What? So you get 13 of these for the cost of 12. Do you not think a percentage of these people, when they go back to their tribe, whether they own their own business or if they work somewhere, they put that cup down on the desk, do you not think that's going to start a conversation? Oh, what's up with the cup? How old you not, Lady Prit? That great gourmet coffee shop 3 blocks over? We were standing in line the other morning to get into the Apple store, and she just showed up and gave us free cups of coffee. Social media is going to blow up. People are going to jump on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. They're going to have selfies. The buzz is going to be, where do I get this offer? So Prit tells them, anybody that goes on social media, tell them to ask for special offer number 27. I'm just making this up. That way, when they come in and say, is offer 27 still open? She gives them the cup, and instead of charging them $8.99, she takes it. And now, when I say $2.99, ladies, I mean X, whatever the variable is. Don't get caught up in the numbers we're providing. See the overall concept. That's how you take a one-time sale and turn it into a gold mine and a cash cow. And here's the other thing. You could grandfather these men and women in so that anytime they buy a birthday cake, because remember, they got high school graduations, college graduations, dental, law, chiropractic school graduations, birth of a first child, birth of a first grandchild, opening of a new business, opening of a second location, on and on. They have employees, they have vendors, they have customers. Your business is going to run.
I think, Mark, you bring up two very important strategies that are so applicable in today's generation as well. One, keeping a referral program. I think that's something that you've brought up twice in today's episode. And I think that's very, very important as well, whether it is bringing a friend in and then you give them a steep discount, or, you know, having some sort of incentive for your customers to refer other people. Again, that actually brings down your acquisition cost. Not just that, the second strategy that you did mention was user-generated content, which especially now for social media, it is absolutely essential because one, when, let's take you for example, okay? Let's say Mark is a customer for my business and maybe there's person B out there. Now, if I were to tell person B that, okay, you should, you know, hire me as your marketing consultant, wouldn't it be better if Mark was the one to tell him and Mark said, you know, this girl's awesome, she's amazing, you should probably, I've worked with her, she does all of this good stuff. Most likely the customer, the potential customer, is going to listen to what Mark has to say, you know, and that is absolutely why user-generated content works so much. So if possible, try to align your marketing strategies to enable that, to encourage your customers, maybe give them some sort of incentive, or even have your sort of branded hashtags so that they can feel excited, they can feel part of the tribe, as Mark calls it. They can feel part of your business, they can feel aligned to your vision, your mission, and they themselves will be, I guess, inherently encouraged to share your business products and your services. Mark, any comments on that?
That is fabulous. Let me just, how much time do we have? Because I want to give a simple example, but I don't want to lose time. How much time do we have?
Probably another 15 minutes.
Oh, great. Let me share this. Two things. Number one, let's say I was a retail jeweler. I'm trying to blow my brand up. Ladies and gentlemen, I call these alligators, these local billboard signs, because let's be honest, and ladies, please don't take this the wrong way, but unless there is a good looking woman on the billboard like Prit, leaned up against a fabulous hot car, guys pass by those billboards, we don't see them. You know what I mean? So why waste $40,000 to $75,000 a month on the, I call them alligators. They eat money, they're green. Try this instead. Let's say my sister knows Prit, and I find out Prit's all over social media and she does these podcasts. And I tell my sister, I say, show these $650 diamond studded earrings to Prit. My hard cost is half, $325. Ask her if she likes these. And my sister shows them to Prit. Oh, these are beautiful. How much are they? And he said, well, my brother owns a jewelry store. He says, as long as you pay the deposit of $325, he'll let you wear them. He says, but he wants you to wear them every time you do social media, every time you do a webinar, anytime you do a Facebook Live, he wants you to rock his earrings. Now, as Prit tribes grow, I guarantee you there are going to be some women, direct messengers saying, hey, girl, where'd you get your bling? She will then let them know, hey, I'm a registered affiliate of this guy who owns this fabulous non-franchise retail jewelry store. I have a special arrangement with him. My affiliate link is below. Put this special code in 57, whatever it is, and you'll get a price the general public can't get. Now, in full disclosure, I'm an affiliate. So let's say $1,000 of what the business gets done, he pays me 25%, which means I earn $250. But ladies and gentlemen, you're getting a price the people on the street can't get. Now, that's the first thing. I would make sure she's decked out in one of my $2,500 diamond studded necklaces that all she's got to do is wear it. And once she goes off air, she gives it back to me. Nobody has to know that she doesn't own it. That's the first thing. But let me take this a step further because I really want you to see this. Let me show you how, when I say, ladies and gentlemen, underutilized assets, let me show you what I'm talking about. Let's suppose I run a free drawing, my retail jewelry store, and I'm offering for the ladies once a month One guaranteed first grand prize winner wins a $2,500 diamond studded necklace. Truth told, pardon me, my hard cost is half. So think $1,250 or $1,000. The gentleman won a $2,500 men's Rolex watch, one guaranteed winner every month. Again, think hard cost half. Now, this is opposed to that billboard that's costing $40,000 a month. Now, every month we choose a person, one male, one female, and everybody else gets a follow-up. Let's say I've been doing this now for like 24 months. I have an opt-in email list now of 25,000 plus people after 11%, for whatever reason, have unsubscribed.
Right.
Now, here's the point. On my lead capture page, if you guys don't know what that is, just go Google what is a lead capture page or a landing page and go to YouTube, watch a couple of videos. You have the concept down cold. Here's the point. I'm going to put on that lead capture page a little box. It says, check this box if you want to get occasional, special, extremely time-sensitive offers from other vendors. Now follow this. You check that box. One of the emails you get says, hey, do you own a luxury house, apartment, or rental property you'd like to sell? If so, send us all the particulars, a picture and a description, and we will send it out 2 or 3 times, no cost to you, just as customer service, to our tribe of 25,000 plus people.
Absolutely.
Now, entrepreneur, think about this. How many sales of that house or property do you need to make this worth your while? One. If you sold your house because the retail appliance center or the cleaners or the gourmet coffee shop sent this offer out to their list, are you going to brag it up to your friends about it?
Yeah.
I bet you will. More people are going to decide to come do business with me and get on my list and may even approach me and say, hey, Mark, I got product or service A or B. Could we possibly work something out where I'd be happy to give you a percentage of what we call the front end sale? Now, when Britt and I talk about the back end, we're talking, or at least I am, she can add, her flavor to it. We're talking about all the additional sales that will be made, the referrals, the, what else, Britt? But all of that additional business that you'll get, we call that the back end. The point being, how often do you think a local gourmet coffee shop, a local cleaners, a local party furniture concern, a local appliance center is using their email list to benefit their customer base like this?
Absolutely.
That's why email is very important, ladies and gentlemen. And here's the other thing. Let's say you send out an email to you. I'm just making up again. Let's say you got 1,000. You don't have to have 25,000. You got 1,000. The first time you send it out, 30%, 300 people open email. Well, what do you do with the other 700? If you listen to Prit and myself, you turn right around, you change the subject line, which is the equivalent of a headline. You write another what's in it for me type headline, but it's only going to those 700 or X% who didn't open the first one. You don't have to change any of the body copy. The point is now you've sent a second email. Now a next group percentage opens that email and sees your offer. This is, ladies and gentlemen, if you do this on Facebook or Twitter or TikTok, you got to pay each time you do it. You don't pay any more for sending those additional emails. That's the power, potential power you're sitting on in terms of email. And let's say I don't even have email, but Prit does. And Prit comes to my retail jewelry store. Of course, if I'm a jewelry store, I probably have, but let's say I'm the gourmet coffee shop owner and she loves my coffee. She said, Mark, I'm going to come in here one day and do a Facebook Live right in your store. I'm like, really, Prit? She says, but I want to do something for, I got 8,000 local people. I'm going to tell them to come to your store, ask for special offer number 29, which means instead of me charging them $8.99 for my big gulp, I'm going to give it to them for $2.99 and tell them, hey, every time you bring the cup back now, all the stuff we were talking about before. It's her email, not mine. Let's suppose I do this with 5 local vendors. Ladies and gentlemen, do you not see the potential power in this? I hope so.
I think that's amazing, Mark. I think what Mark is also trying to say is, one, marketing does not have to be expensive. I think we really want to drive home that point. That is something that I personally advocate for, and I know that Mark also advocates for the same thing. There are various ways that you can go about marketing. There are expensive routes, of course, but there are also budget-friendly routes. And you shouldn't really look at marketing as just something that is going to be expensive for your business. So I think that is, Mark, do you want to add something to that?
Oh, heck yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think would happen if I sent my, let's say Prit works for me. She's one of my sales reps for my jewelry store. And I sent her to the local upscale now, hair salon owner and nail salon owner. And when she walks in, she's rocking a $3,000 diamond studded necklace, which is on loan, and some $650 earrings on loan. So I tell her to sit in the owner's chair. Now, after they do their small talk, and at some point that hair salon stylist will say, girl, where'd you get your rocks from? She's, oh, this is my boss. He sent me in here to make a special offer to you. And I'm sorry, special, extremely time sensitive offer. You got to use scarcity to both you and your current and future stylists. And she's like, what is it? He's going to allow you to get a pair of diamond studded earrings and a necklace at his hard cost. All you got to do is put up a deposit. He's also going to give you these extremely market tested, time sensitive, two-sided index cards. Side A invites them to join his list for his free monthly drawing. And side B tells them to bring a friend within this 10 or X day window. If they come alone, they save 10% up to say $200. If they bring a friend, it's 40% up to $2,000. And if their friend joins the list before they leave the store that day, that's called scarcity, ladies and gentlemen, they save $1,000 and 30% off. Now, here's the catch. Every time you pass one of these out, you sign it, you put your name, print your name on the back so Mark knows where these leads are coming from. The moment you reach 10 customers, Mark is going to refund you your deposit. The bling is yours forever. Say what? Now they're rocking this bling. They're not only coming in contact with their customers, when they go to buy Dunkin' Donuts, when they go to pick up their kids at daycare, they're going to be, and their besties and their neighbors, they're going to be bombarded. You see how you invested one time, but you get this offshoot, just like me appearing on her awesome podcast. When she blasts this over social media, when I blast it over social media, this is a one-time event. We exerted this energy up front, but look at that long range, long-term exposure we both get. And every time you do one of these, ladies and gentlemen, and I know some of you have a phobia, you must have heard this because I know I've heard it 1,000 times in America now. I don't know about the rest of the world. The average adult over 21 years of age, they fear public speaking above fear of death. Can you believe this? They absolutely will not get in front of the camera. They don't even want to be recorded. So the point being, those of you who don't have this phobia, you get on these shows, you're going to get long-term residual exposure for one time. That, ladies and gentlemen, that's called leverage. See, if Prit and I were doing this in her favorite gourmet coffee shop, we're talking, and she says, wow, Mark, I really like some of your strategies. I advocate some of the same stuff. Why don't you come on my show and talk to my tribe? Well, ladies and gentlemen, when we go from one to many, same effort, that's called leverage. So I got long-winded, Prit, but I said all that to say this. You need to understand what is the total lifetime customer value of your ideal customer or client. Go, if you're not familiar with that term, Prit and I use, go to YouTube, ask your friend Google and go to YouTube, watch a video or two. You have the concept of, because don't pluck a figure out of air and try to make it work. What if your total lifetime customer value is only $1,500? You can't possibly afford to spend $5,000 on advertising or marketing. You're going to be what we call upside down. You're going to be frustrated. You're going to end up having a liquidation sale. That's what's going to happen. So, Prit, whatever you want to add to that. But ladies and gentlemen, here's the bottom line I want to share. Prit and I want to make sure you understand. You got tons of ways to leverage stuff. You just got to be open to it. And if any of this makes sense and you want to know more, you know at least 2 sources you can reach out to get this going. Because I'm telling you, you're shooting yourself in the foot if you're just writing big checks. You could be doing far better, in my opinion. But we just got to talk about it.
Oh, that's some powerful, powerful stuff there, Mark. And of course, if any of my viewers or listeners want to reach out to you, I'm going to put all of the description links sorry, I'm going to put all of the links in the description box. Wow, that was confusing. And reach out to Mark, tell him something that you liked about this podcast episode, and go say hi. I know that Mark is going to be absolutely happy to talk to you and to get to know your business better as well. And Mark, any last couple of seconds? I think we have got a couple of seconds.
Did not mean to be remiss. If you're a service provider, create some time-sensitive gift certificates and let other non-competing vendors give them away, and you'll grow your business like a rabbit farm on a hormone diet, ladies and gentlemen.
That's amazing. That's really awesome, Mark. Thank you so much for hopping on this podcast. For those of you listening out there, thank you so much for being a part of this episode as well. I'll catch you guys in my next episode.